My name's Elliot Milbourne, I'm from Digital Vision. Welcome. We are going to be showing some stuff on the Digital Vision FilmMaster today. The FilmMaster is first and foremost a color correction system or a color grading system depending on what side of the Atlantic you're from. And we've got a little slideshow here just to quickly introduce Digital Vision for those who may not know us. Okay, so I'm going to cover a few things today. This system is pretty capable. It's first and foremost a color system, but you can do red conform, you can do red dailies preparation for editorial systems like an Avid system or a Final Cut Pro system. And as I say, you can do conform, complete color correction with infinite layers, infinite secondaries, multi-track timeline. And also one of the key technologies that Digital Vision have is the DVO processing, all the inherited technology from the DVNR product. So that is how it began. Digital Vision have been making this product for 21 years this year. And the hardware box that you see in the top of the screen there is the DVNR. It's commonplace in telecine suites for mainly for grain and noise reducing, for dirt removal, things like that, in an automatic processing way. And one of the main things that's been happening in recent years is the move from hardware to software. So the DVNR is still a current product, goes up to 2K, but to the left of it there should be an arrow kind of going from the DVNR over to the left to the DVO. And really what that means is we've made it into software. So now you can use a color correction system like the FilmMaster, which I'm using up on the top, and you can buy the package that we make, the DVO package, and you can have all of the restorative tools, and I'll show a few of them today. And you can have that as well. So you can do your conform, you can do your, you can work with DNx HD media, R3D media, you can color grade, you can get rid of the noise, you can fix the problems, you can do all sorts of things in one box. Okay, so I'll try and touch on all different things today as we move through. So these are the DVO tools. Most of them are enabled with motion estimation, which is Digital Vision's key technology really, and I'll give you a pretty obvious example of why that's a good thing. But they all go together to make the DVO package, do various things. And because it does so much, people use it for lots of different things. They use the FilmMaster for 60 minutes in New York for broadcast work. They do restoration work. They do the Spirit color grading that's just come out. We're very happy to be involved with that. They do Resident Evil, say, stuff like that in Hollywood. IO Film are a massive supporter, and they've got multiple systems in theaters there. And so, it's got a very wide, it's got a very varied uses. Okay, so what makes it good? Lots of things. The first and foremost one, which I will be going back to in the actual demo, is the multi-track timeline. So it's more like a Avid or a Final Cut Pro in the way it looks. And that has key advantages when you're doing color correction to keep things live and editable very quickly. Okay, so we work with people, we work with Avid, we work with Red, we have partners, and we have a very close relationship with Avid, very close relationship with companies so that we can use things natively, like we can make and understand DNx HD files, we can understand Red R3D files, we use the latest SDK from Red. So we are running on Windows, and essentially the fans you hear to my left is the machine, it's in here with me. It's essentially one high-powered PC running on a dual quad-core machine just here, and it's got 16 terabytes of local storage, although it really doesn't matter if you're linked into a SAN, you can work completely the same way over fiber. Okay, so two things, Red things, seeing as you're all into Red here, we're going to do two different types of Red workflow. This one simulates the kind of Red workflow which would start you shooting on Red and come through, and you would put your Red files on, say, a SAN, some sort of shared storage. And that means that I can go in using my FilmMaster or Data Conform or one of our products and just conform it. Just grab the files, not even a conform, just grab those files, drop them on the timeline and hit play. So that is one thing we can do, and this simulates the kind of workflow where you'd want to spit that out to editorial. So MXF or QuickTime, the important thing here is that if you're going to do this to prepare media to be edited, then you're going to want to keep all of the file namings intact, all of the file structures of the red files intact, so that the next slide simulates what you do afterwards. So you're happy with your cut on your Avid or your Final Cut Pro, and you output a EDL or an AAF QuickTime, and even an MXF QuickTime movie or reference movie or something like that. But the main thing is to kick out an EDL, and from that I can dip back into the R3Ds, files which haven't moved, the red files are still there, and you just conform at full quality. So then you're ready to do your grading, your image processing with DVO, whatever you want to do. And you're basically using one system to do a lot of different things which you would otherwise have to use different applications, Red Cine and all this kind of stuff. And this is simpler. We like to think it's quicker, more efficient, and we can do a lot of different things in one box. Okay, so let's show you some of that stuff in action. And just really quickly, I'm going to show you some of the benefits of having a DVO toolset on board. And first things first, I'm going to show you automatic processing. We've got some footage here which has all kinds of problems. It wasn't shot on red, because otherwise the red camera's got a serious problem. This is from film, but I will be looking at red in a minute. Yeah, so this is the kind of processing that we can do. So we go from here to there. So that is a completely automatic process. I'm just doing a comparison between the two. And you see this running scratch up here to the right? That is a new algorithm that we've developed. We had never been able to get rid of that before as easily. And I think we're the only people who can automatically detect and remove the scratch using automated algorithms. Okay, so we're able to clean up very, very quickly. But of course, in the real world, there's going to be awkward stuff that won't go away. And you're going to want to use, I don't know, maybe you would go to MTI, or traditionally you'd big bits of chunks of dirt that was missed, you'd have to fix them in a more manual, painty kind of way. Now we tried to make that even simpler, so if you want to do this more manually, but still with the benefits of motion estimation technology, rather than going in a more Photoshop way and saying, okay, I want to pick that up and I want to try and smudge that across there and cover it up, you don't do that. You just go here and you just draw over what you don't like. Alright, so that's pretty cool. What it's doing is it's looking forward frames, looking backwards frames, and as I paint, it's analyzing and combining frames with motion estimation. So it knows that that bit of hair has gone from here to here, and in the middle it will be about there, and that's why it's repairing it with the right bit of dirt. And the nice thing is when it does that, it puts a new grain pattern on top. I'll make it much worse so you can see it. You see that? And, because without it's a bit smudgy, but you can bed that right in and make the repair. So that's just a very quick example of some of the things that this system does, as well as the conform and all that stuff and the grading. It has a lot of these great tools that are digital vision tools. Okay, so another good thing for red, and I apologize, this is the last bit of material I'll show that isn't red. it's not red. Grain reduction, and in particular with red, if something's poorly lit, these algorithms work equally well with noise reduction. So these work with grain and noise. And if you look here, I'm going to zoom up a little bit so it becomes a bit clearer. The nice thing about our algorithm is that you can remove, you see that? Let me bring my little bar up here to make it easier. There we go. So our algorithm doesn't destroy his glasses detail or anything like that, which some algorithms can do. You removing the grain, just like the DVNR used to do in hardware, but this is only software, and you can do this with any file format, even red, and you can just remove these grain, the aggressiveness of this noise or grain.